It happened about 20 years ago. I began to notice the presence of discs and read all the literature and started talking to some intelligence people, looking at documents that came by. And I started to uncover, together with a bunch of other people, quite a lot of data regarding what appeared to be quite a large cover-up. In 1947, when the Roswell crash happened, the United States put together a group of people to go and look into this. They weren't sure whether they came from the Germans or they came from the Soviets, where they suspected some additional technology was being developed after the war. During the war, the United States and the Soviets, as well as the Canadians, acquired disk data. In 1947, there was a specific incident where the radar at the Four Corners area in the Midwest took down a disk, thereafter known as the Roswell crash. On that disk, the United States government discovered both alien bodies of a reptilian species and also the bodies of Air Force pilots. This in itself, besides the technological surprise, was enough to keep them and the data secret. In September of 47, Truman passed the National Security Act in order to hide the activities of the government, the Central Intelligence Agency, and the alien problem. In 1948, Project Sign was established after a top-secret estimate of the situation was prepared. General Hoyt Vandenberg, after reviewing the report, ordered it destroyed. Not all copies were destroyed. One still survives. Project Sign was designated as Project Grudge in December 1948, with a public version to be known as Project Blue Book. The liaison between Project Grudge and Project Blue Book was Captain Edward Ruppelt. 1949 was a time period in which alien craft were seen hovering over sensitive nuclear installations, especially in New Mexico. In December 1950, they established a unit called IPU, Interplanetary Phenomena Unit, which established operationally scenarios to be able to deal with the increasing problem of crash disks and aliens. By this time, they had approximately 16 crash disks and 65 alien bodies, one of which was live, and they had held in a facility. They termed the alien EBE, which means extraterrestrial biological entity, a name coined by Dr. Detlef Brock, who was also a member of the original study group. The government has pursued various scenarios, some of which are being implemented at this moment, to try to acclimate the public toward a lot of these different events that are about to occur. As Wilbur Smith indicated in his letter to Dr. Sarbacher in 1950, this matter is so highly classified because of its impact on every living being on this planet. It's classified higher than the H-bomb was. In fact, they've developed at least 32 levels above top secret into the Ultra and Q range to deal with security as far as the aliens are concerned. Only two presidents have had complete knowledge of the alien program, President Eisenhower and President Bush, because of his involvement with the Central Intelligence Agency. The MJ-12 organization itself is the group of people that are actually the top 12 of a group of 32 individuals in a group known as the Jason Control Group, started in the late 50s as a measure to take away the alien problem procedure away from governments and take it outside the hands of governments. As far as we can tell, Project Blue Book was a part of a disinformation program that evolved after the United States discovered the Air Force officer bodies in with the alien bodies in the Roswell crash. The grudge part of it, the name grudge, was something that apparently evolved with General Hoyt Vandenberg, who wasn't particularly pleased with that top secret estimate of the situation, which was prepared by Project Sign in August 1948. In December 48, Sign was redesignated as Project Grudge. primarily because of Hoyt's displeasure with the report. It wasn't convenient, it was a problem, and he wanted to have the material stop. So the answer is to create a publicly perceived version of an Air Force project with several officers involved, one of them being Captain Edward Ruppelt, in order to give the appearance to the public that the Air Force was looking into the matter. And at the end of that, to discredit the UFOs and close the project, which they apparently told the public that they were going to do in 1969. All during this process, the top reports, the really interesting material, the really gruesome stuff about some of the abductions and crashes that they were finding was bypassed, went bypass Project Blue Book and went into secret Central Intelligence Agency and National Security Agency files. The Blue Book ended up with the unimportant stuff off the top, which they could easily convert and explain away as weather balloons and other atmospheric phenomena. That's right. They not only cannot keep that secret, but there are military secrets and government secrets seems to be very fleeting things. And it was once said that where four people gather together to conspire, three are fools and one is a government agent. You have to understand that here we were just coming out of a war, and here we had an alien crash, and alien beings, and dead humans, and a real big problem. An alien craft and alien beings is a big culture shock. They were worried about a lot of people going crazy. And there was one early test, which is when Orson Welles did his War of the Worlds thing, his Mars thing on the radio. He was asked to do that by the government. So they still felt that that was a common mindset, and they couldn't tell people what was going on. It was to know the truth would destroy religions, upset economic systems. In general, they perceived it to cause general havoc about the whole thing. Part of their thing that they're doing now is they're trying to acclimate the public. They've been trying to do that for several years, having movies like E.T. And then eventually, when they found out that they could not stop what apparently was an alien timetable, they started coming out with the series V, depicting aliens as reptilians, carnivorous reptilians. A lot of these movies depict a little piece of the truth, trying to psychologically acclimate the public before events soon to come, apparently, force themselves on the American public and the world at large. There's been some analysis of this particular film. It's suspected and pretty well demonstrated, as far as we can determine, that the government had a plan in process during this particular point in time to bring some very superficial information about alien presence to the minds of the American public. However, in the middle of the production, certain incidents that occurred allegedly at an alien base here, where military personnel were killed, forced a rethink of the government-alien relationship and postponed, especially in terms of the political climate of the time, any kind of revelation to the general public.